All right, let's jump into it, huh? So, once more, onto Historic. This is going to be our last Historic deck for a little bit. I'm going to take a couple days off of doing Magic stuff to do a little bit of extra Runeterra and Variety stuff while we wait for the new set to release. Standard set drops on Thursday, along with rotation on Arena. So, Thursday and Friday will be all standard streams. And then 6 days from now, on the 19th, we'll be playing the standard Hoaglandia Open. So if you're interested in playing in that, make sure you check out the Melee link on my website. Click Hoaglandia Opens on the main navigation. At any rate, this deck today is a mid-range, three-color mid-range deck that's looking to generate some card advantage with Kaalia, the Zenith Seeker here. So 3/3 Flying Vigilance for 3. When she enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library and reveal an angel, demon, and or dragon card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So we've got 12 hits for Kaalia here, which means you are going to miss on occasion, but a lot of the time she's going to be digging us deeper to find very powerful top-end threats. Seraph of the Scales in particular, I think is kind of a sweet threat that like saw some play for like half a second in Standard. This was in Guild Pact, which was in, or this is in Ravnica's Allegiance, sorry, which was the second Rav set right before War of the Spark. So before Teferi happened, this card saw some okay fringe play, but then once Teferi Time Raveler was all over formats, this card quickly became unplayable because you couldn't afford to just like play a 4-mana card that didn't have an ETB and then have it get bounced and tempoed constantly. But this has an afterlife trigger, which means if you play this and it like eats a removal spell, it's like not that big of a deal because you did get some value out of it still with those spirit tokens. So I think this is a card that in general could maybe be playable in a post Teferi world. The rest of the deck is using some similar things to the big red deck that we've played a few times. You got Mind Stones here and Guardian Idol to allow us to ramp up into this top end a little bit quicker. We got Bonecrusher, Bedevil, and Thoughtseize a little bit of interaction. And then obviously, like I mentioned yesterday, I think if you're a deck that doesn't get hosed by Grafdigger's Cage, this format is currently in a place where you should be playing for Grafdigger's Cage. We've got that in the sideboard. Abrade and Clarion for some more interaction. Some Chandras to grind against control. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels. Our volume just got louder, so obviously we're going to be playing on the Amonkhet board here. It's fine. Not amazing, but by needs a white source, obviously, but if we hit like another red-black land, we can go Guardian Idol into Karn, which is fine. And then Karn can hopefully dig us to some white mana. Wonderful, lose Guardian Idol here. Hey, morning, Bog Stomper. Thanks for the 10 months. Up late enough. Does that mean you are Australia or somewhere like that? 12 hours ahead of me? This is a preview chat of what's gonna happen. You know, get your mana source, Thoughtseize. Australia, yep. So how do my what time is it there? Are you 12 hours ahead of me? Is it almost 9 o'clock there, or is it later than that? According to LSB, your opponent just played a turn 1 card that isn't good in Historic. Thanks for the 53 months, Marty. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thank you for the very generous tier 3. CD Sniper, thanks for the 13 months. Yeah, the Thoughtseize is bad in Historic is definitely a take. And I assume we're dead here when they play Nissa. It's currently 8:45 Cornfield time. Howdy, Jeff Freeze. Thanks for the quarter beer. I'm mostly just wondering, do my evening streams line up okay for people in Australia now? And I'm gonna be doing those. I guess my evening should be your early morning there then, right? If my early morning is your evening. I think that's the swap. Bonecrusher Giant's not very good here. We'll bring in Contempt and Chandra Heart of Fire to grind a bit. I don't think we're supposed to bring in Cage against Urodex. I'm West Coast Australia, so it's a reasonable 9:47. It's your 13 hours for me. So that means my evening streams will be 8 a.m. your time. Sounds right. Sitfit, thanks for the half year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Alright, this hand's great till they Thoughtseize my mana source again. Okay, nailed it. Like, thunk rubber band sound when it comes into play. I forgot how good this animation is. The mythic angels and dragons in this game tend to have pretty decent animations. Scale of 1 to dead. Where's the Seraph at here? Oh, this card. This card is really difficult to play around. It's another one of those. Alright, come on. Let's draw an untapped land here, huh? Untapped land. We get to eat the land and kill the Nissa. If I just trade here and then Bedevil this, I'm going to trade and Bedevil. Even if we draw the land, untapped land, we can still just attack this. Yeah, I was never drawing a land. Welcome to Magic. Arguably the best sweeper ever printed. I think it might be, honestly, Cruel. The fact that you can, like, kind of surgically control what you're hitting with it is, like, a really big deal. The fact that it's, like, often Plague Wind. So again, like, games like that, we're technically not dead the following turn, but we're too far behind at that point. We're not going to catch back up on tempo. I think we could afford to miss on that first, so we could not afford to miss on the second one. Did I crack any shards for the 2X? Yeah, I didn't get anything. I got a Gore Garb. I actually did not have a Gore Garb yet, so I got one of him. So maybe he'll push my Faction Wars, Undead Faction Wars up to 21. We'll see. Like green-black mid-range here. Green-black ramp. We just Thoughtseize, huh? Fun fact, this land is the 25th land I added to this deck before we started playing from the submission. Have I mentioned that I am really looking forward to the new spell land mechanic that's coming in Zendikar? Have I mentioned that I think the new spell lands might be one of the best things to happen to Magic since I started playing? Up there with the London Mulligan in terms of how good they will likely be for the game. Really, really looking forward to those being added to Magic the Gathering. I expect them to radiate out across most formats. The mythic ones are sweet. A lot of the rare ones are sweet too, honestly. I think a lot of them are going to see play. His hand's not very good, chat, but I've been hurt several times today already, and we're only on game 4, so I'm keeping. Because I have lands to cast whatever spells I draw. And these can cycle at least if we flood out. Yeah, I mean, the mythic ones are obviously the most playable. Printing those lands at mythic is the very WotC / monkey paw way to sate players complaining they have too many mythic wild cards. Now you have 20 mythics you have to craft to be competitive. That's not true. Not all of those are probably playable. The blue one seems kind of weak. Most of them are reasonable though. Do I just play Banger out into a removal spell here? I feel like the answer is no. I'm gonna just like Godless Shrine pass here. I should have paid attention to the auto tapper there. I was thinking about cycling both of these, but now we won't, obviously. I'm gonna hold on to the Bedevil for now, because Glorybringer can obviously just kill this. Alright, it worked out that we kept the other Mind Stone. We can Thoughtseize here, too. Love to take your Murderous Rider, thanks. Start by cycling this, see if we find another dragon. I don't think we can afford to take another hit from Questing Beast here. Gosh, Vivian is embarrassing against Glorybringer, huh? Zafa, thank you for the 17 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So we'll Bedevil this, and then next turn we'll bang Vivian and the Beast. Get a little animation value in there. So those of you that haven't experienced that before. Crunch. I mean, we've tried to play her on stream. since then, but she hasn't been good. Maybe today will be different. Take a little info on the way out the door. You got it. You know, it's funny. I was searching back through some of my old tweets looking for one over the weekend for the Mythic Invitational, and I found one where I talked about how I was pausing taking deck submissions as we were getting ready for Ravnica's Allegiance to come out because my queue was so full, I didn't want to have a bunch waiting without new cards when the set dropped. And just like the comparison to like the enthusiasm and excitement surrounding that, GRN Standard, I think, will probably be... It's definitely my favorite Standard format of all time. Innistrad RTR Standard is close, but I think GRN Standard is always going to have a special place in my heart. It was very, very good. It was before Arena became the laggy mess that it is today, too. Alright, so Castle doesn't cast Bedevil, but it casts Kaalia. We keep this, run the draw. Hopefully we'll find another black or red source. Savai Triome brings both of these into play untapped, which is great. Yeah, Ravnica Allegiance was, Ravnica Allegiance was a little bit worse for me because it contained Wilderness Reclamation, but... overall, still very reasonable. Hey, happy Sunday, Wasatch Warrior. I appreciate the 4 months. Welcome back. Davriel. What a fun and interesting card, said no one ever. I'm excited to get punished for discarding that land by never drawing a land. I feel like if GRN Standard had all 10 Shocklands in it, it would be pretty close to a pretty ideal format. I think that was like the one complaint I had about that format was that we didn't have all 10 Shocklands in it. And then when Allegiance happened, it added Shocklands, but also added some other cards that made the format a little bit worse. Alright, well there's no more creatures in bins here, so Glorybringer can take care of the Scavenging Ooze, which is great. Nah, I think Davriel's a fine card. Super obnoxious. Alright, so if I go attack all, and then I can click exert. Sick. Alright. Figured it out. Hey chat, I heard my opponent likes dragons. I love Glorybringer Weens. This card makes me feel things. This is why I don't trust people. Well, a dragon killed you, so maybe you shouldn't trust dragons. Is it better to kill the lifelink? No, I don't think the lifelink really matters. They have another lifelinker coming down. I think I'd much rather just kill their bigger thing. Feels like my life total being higher is more important than anything else here. Isn't resource variance fun, opponent? Honestly, I think I just ditch that Mind Stone in case I cast something else I want to, or draw something else I want to cast. Not expecting to get burned out from 6 here. It's a pretty good draw. Little punished for not Thoughtseizing, but I think going to 4 is wrong. Okay, kill you with Chandra. How about this dragon? Still have all these. Still have all these. Is the Runeterra balance patch this week or is that next week? I forget. I feel like it's this week, right? This week, okay. I feel like I'd be surprised if they do anything too major. Feels like the current format is reasonable. Yeah, they had talked about adjusting Ezreal and buffing Lee Sin. I don't know that they've told us anything else about things past that they're planning. It's a good draw. Kamuri Durdrach. Thanks for re-upping that Prime support. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they buff a couple of the other weaker champions too. What am I glory banging next turn? I probably don't want to trade this with Lyra in hand, right? So I probably just take 3 here, I think. That's actually a great draw. Okay, so with that draw, we're gonna go ahead and... God, this bug is still not fixed. If I attack with this, do I die to Primal Surge? They'll give this +3. Fight this, which then is 8, 11, so no. Yep, that's some kind of scary card advantage there. Oh, I actually can't play Lyra yet. Yikes. I guess I'm dead to another piece of another Primal Surge here now. I forgot we were missing the second white source. Did I change my line? Yeah, maybe I think I was supposed to trade this the previous turn. When I had the opportunity to and didn't. Their board would be clear right now if I had. I think I messed that up. I wasn't thinking about my mana enough. If they don't have a piece of removal here to kill me, Lyra comes down, and then I get to gain 5. Galactic Company with Great Henge is pretty good. If they attack, I'm obligated to block, right? They gotta decide if they want to trade here. It's actually kind of a shame that I don't have a third white here, because I can't Lyra and Vigilance this. Am I attacking? I feel like I'm attacking. I could be wrong to attack, because I just, like, have them dead in the air next turn regardless. Right? I'd have, they'd be at 14 and I have 14. But I guess I don't really want to block with it either. So they're hoping to find, like, another Primal Surge here, but even if they find that, Lyra is going to lifelink 5 inside of combat, so I think that's fine. Well, I wouldn't have them dead because of Great Henge life gain, so that attack is good. Yeah. If they don't find a removal spell here, they're very dead. 21 cards into their deck, looking for a second Primal Might. So Lyra seems great. Thoughtseize does explicitly not seem great. Contempt's probably fine. I think Karn's kind of slow here. Do I want Clarion or Abrade? They are a Land War Elf deck. Clarion can occasionally give my things lifelink, which doesn't seem unappealing. Maybe I'm supposed to board in a couple of Grafdigger's cages for their collected companies. I probably don't ever want to draw 2 cage in this matchup though, right? Would I rather have Abrade or Clarion, or maybe a coward split of the 2? I feel like I probably can't block warriors. Abrade does kill Henge. That's a good thought. Okay, I'll do 3 in 1. I have 6 ways to kill Henge then. I like that. Let's try this. Pawaga, thank you for the 17 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I feel like I just can't keep a hand that doesn't do anything till turn 3, and even then we might miss our white source. This is where the resource variance, magic happens. I'm gonna bottom the Isolated Chapel and hope to draw some lands here, I think. He said optimistically. Our deck has 31 mana sources in it. Alright. Savai Triome is better than missing, I suppose. We're gonna take a hit for 5 here, though, when they put something else into play, which is sad. Hexproof from black. Yup. Nailed it. That being said, they get to keep deploying threats every turn here now and hitting us for 5, so we're probably in a little bit of a bad spot. Ooh, that doesn't turn on Rodus. I think I hold on to Clarion for now because it can kill another Garruk's Harbinger, whereas Bedevil cannot. Opponent exiling miscellaneous stuff from our yard to play around Croxa most likely. Seems smart. Harpooner temporarily enabling Rodus. Yep. You know what? I should probably wait on that to bedevil something bigger that turns this on. That's poor sequencing on my part. Yeah, we're both stuck at 3 lands, but I missed my 3rd land on 3, so the tempo from being behind is a big deal. I mean, right. We got ram through here. I think that's an instant if I recall correctly. They have Barkide Troll. They have more things that die to Clarion than I thought. I feel like I want more of these. All right. I think we're just doing this. I think I cash in these tokens to gain 6 here. This way, if I draw Clarion, we can clear the board. I'm gonna cycle this now, looking for Clarion. We can... Do I Abrade this now while they're tapped out? Or do I kill this before it gets bigger? Probably this before it gets bigger. Lie to me and tell me this deck has felt sweet. We beat up someone playing green-black mid-range. to give you a tidbit of optimism, I think decks like what we are playing right now stand to gain the most from a lot of these spell lands that are coming in Zendikar. I think mid-range decks in general stand to gain the most from modal cards like that. This card's really good. When we played the opponent's archetype the other day, Primal Might was incredible. Yeah, I agree with that, Aradaz. Getting the new dual lands that are coming are also very exciting. I am really interested to see what Historic's going to be at the end of the year once we have both the extra lands from that and whatever lands are coming in Pioneer Masters. Hey, DMS, thank you for the 32 months, which means I must have subbed at the beginning of the pandemic. Certainly feels that way. Alright, it's a land that does something at least. I actually have enough mana here that I can activate Guardian Idol and Castle this turn. You got two thumbs and get savaged by Ram through. This guy right here. Yeah, the fast lands in Pioneer Masters will have the largest impact. The Kaladesh lands are fast lands, Frigley, for people that aren't familiar. Fast lands are Botanical Sanctum, and all of those. Probably just dead at this point. I can't block this. Taking 8 here. They have Rowanus that can give other things trample. Or 7, sorry. Yep. Just did. Look at the exciting daily deals. So the Magic Esports account had been tweeting memes about Muxus and Uro, and the last time they tweeted a bunch of memes about Wilderness Reclamation, it got banned right after, so maybe that's a sign that they're going to do the right thing. Be interesting to see if we get an announcement tomorrow saying that changes are coming. I also feel like there's a chance that they might just leave it alone because making changes to Historic when their new Standard set is coming out can draw attention from Standard, which is where they want things to primarily be. Theros doesn't have other cards to sell packs. That's not true. Urza sees plenty of play. Croxa sees plenty of play. Whoever the other Titan is. Whomever. Bloomberg pledged $100 million to Biden specifically for Florida. Well, I'll believe that when the spending happens. Because to quote Bloomberg during the primary, he said he would spend whatever it took to get the nominee elected at the time. Which what he actually meant was he would spend whatever it took to not get Bernie Sanders elected. And he hasn't put up any money so far, so the words of that billionaire aren't worth particularly much to me. All billionaires are amoral. Amoral, what's the word I'm looking for? They have no morals. If you don't become a billionaire by having morals. Amoral is no morals, immoral is bad morals. One of the two. Could be either or. That we're learning with Twitch chat. Immoral is someone who knows right from wrong but doesn't care. Amoral doesn't recognize either. There you go. Today's words of the day are capitalism makes me sad. So if I do this, and then I can shock in this land, and then I can both stomp something and Bedevil this turn. So I can do this, and then we can stomp the elf when they activate Leyline. We were just talking about billionaires in general, but that includes Zuckerberg. Seeing a good example this game of why this card is banned in Pioneer. It's just very powerful, all these Mana Darks. A free dub from you. I'm one way for Mythic. I don't know what that means. I'm not hip with the lingo. So they have 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So if I block here, this dies. No, I'm not conceding to people. I'd encourage you not to walk around asking people questions like that. Like, very confident that breaks the arena terms of service. Okay, so we attack all. I think we exert this one, kill the elf. They'll have 10 power, and then we can kill them in the air next turn. So they go to 4 here. I can even chump block with Aurelia if we need to. So, Deafening Clarion seems really good here. Seems like a matchup where Karn's probably too slow. I don't think this is a Lyra matchup. I think Bonecrusher to stop the random dork seems fine. It's relevant there. I think that's just it. Karn out, Clarion in. Click submit. Oh, by the way, as your tidbit of political hopelessness for the day, and a reminder to people that the Trump administration is incredibly evil, all of the migrant children that had been previously being held in cages on our southern border, they've released almost 9,000 of them as unaccompanied minors at the border since COVID began. So remember, elections have consequences. Make sure you are registered to vote and vote in November. Thanks. There aren't words to properly describe the evil of the current administration. If you need a source on that claim I just made, they admitted doing so in a written document in a court of law. So if we play Mind Stone here, we can do this, and we can do Lyra. And we're in an okay spot. I think I'm gonna cycle Mind Stone to start here, because if I find a banger, we can use banger to kill Nissa and hold on to the Bedevil. Nailed it. This stream was pre-recorded in front of a live Twitch audience. Never forget. Ramp deck. Kept a ramp deck hand. Drew mana. Died. You know. Glorybringer is a very, very good magic card. I like that one a lot. The fact that ICRs don't have duplicate protection is just one of the many incredibly offensive things about the economy on Arena. Very stupid that I'm getting 40 gems when I don't have a complete Mythic collection. See, it needs to draw land, but it's got at least 2 castable spells here. Yeah, the fact that they don't even have the decency to duplicate protect the rewards you're paying extra money for is awful. In Runeterra, they have region tracks, which for people that don't play Runeterra, regions are basically colors. And in that game, if you have all the champions or epics in a region, it gives you ones from other colors if you get a randomly generated one. And that's a free-to-play reward in that game. They duplicate protection. They duplicate protect their 2 highest rarities from everywhere you get them. What are we taking here? Probably Elder Gargoth. I'm gonna go ahead and shock this in. So this way, if they play Chosen from Death, I can stomp it this turn. I mean, sure, there's Bulkin magic, So they're still not as useful as what Runeterra gives you, but they're more useless because they don't have duplicate protection. Like, you're right, random card rewards in this game are way less valuable than random card rewards in Runeterra on average because Magic has so many unplayable cards in it. But, like, on top of those unplayable cards, you also don't get 4-card protection on your random rewards. Does Zendikar Rising seem weak to anyone else? Yes, and that's a good thing. Part of the problem with Magic's current iteration is that everything's been too strong. I also think that on average cards look weaker before you play with them. So I think there's going to be a number of cards that jump out and surprise us, but I also think that if the initial conjecture or glance over that things look weaker, I think that's a good thing. The power level needs to come down. Players always want higher power levels, and players are dumb. Yeah, we need a power level downtick. Things need to be much weaker on average than they are right now. So I'll play Murderous Rider here as well to make this a 2/4. I could do a standard being decided after turn 3/4 for a while. Yeah, you and me both. No more Planeswalkers. I think the people that are on team no more Planeswalkers are idiots. Just to be blunt. Judging all Planeswalkers based on the busted Planeswalkers is like if I judged all artifacts based on Blood Moon, or if I judged all enchantments based on Blood Moon and all artifacts based on Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, I think Nox is a boomer. I think Planeswalkers are great for the game because Planeswalkers create interesting decision points. The problem with Planeswalkers is there's been too many that are like, and this isn't even restricted to Planeswalkers, a problem with Magic in general in recent years is there's too many, you answer this card in 1 to 2 turns or the game is over. There's never room to breathe. You can't miss a land drop, because if you miss a land drop, you don't answer the card that needs to be answered right away, and then you die. Because again, the power level of everything has gone up so much. Planeswalkers are the most interactable card type in Magic the Gathering. You can attack them. The problem with Planeswalkers isn't that they exist, it's the details on the cards. You shouldn't write off entire subsets of things because a couple of them missed the mark. How about no more static abilities? No, stop it. Can you like take 30 seconds and extend what I'm saying beyond that? There are a ton of awesome Planeswalkers with static abilities. 5 mana Vivian recently, awesome static ability. 3 mana Domri, awesome static ability. 3 mana Kiora, awesome static ability. The number of people that can't think critically and like think about what they're saying and extend it past a little bit. Yeah, 3 mana Tibalt, awesome static ability. People are just like, nope, Oko missed the mark, fuck all Planeswalkers, get rid of all of them. Like, it's so stupid. People are so lazy and just want to throw everything in the garbage can because a couple missed the mark. Yeah, it's exactly what happened with Companions. Wizards caved to peer pressure on Companions and social media rabble when a lot of them were sweet and interesting. Yeah, less prison effects, more positive. Teferi Time Raveler, sucked, throw it out. Narset, sucks, throw it out. 4 mana Karn, prison effect, sucks, throw that out. Nissa, doubling all your mana doubling, sucks, throw it out. Stop condemning, and like this goes beyond Magic, right? Like, if people in general would stop throwing away entire subsets of things because they don't like part of it. Like, you know, life is shades of gray. It's not always this, it's not always perfect. You need to look at it and diagnose what's going on and why. Noxon, thanks for the half year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Do I Kaalia here? If I Kaalia here and they have a claim the firstborn, we just like lose on the spot, right? So I probably have to Bedevil. I think I'm gonna gamble on the claim the firstborn. I think I need to try and save this Bedevil for the Witch's Oven. Otherwise, I'm just gonna die to this stupid cat. Is Eldraine rotating? It is not. Cat Oven's banned in Standard, though, and Mayhem Devil's rotating, so... yeah, it's a good Kaalia, but it doesn't matter. Sure. If that's his point, I haven't listened to most of his rants on the topic. But overshooting doesn't mean you should delete the card type. It means that you should adjust for the overcompensation and move along with it. This is a 4-cage matchup. I feel like it's not. I think 3-cage, 3 Abrade, 3 Bedevil's probably fine. I'll leave 1 Karn in for some Karn advantage. Can you name off the top of your head all the standard cards banned from Eldraine? Yeah, Oko, Once Upon a Time, Fires, and Oven. It's 4, right? Once Upon a Time was also an Eldraine. Veil was M21, or M20, whatever the core set was. Veil is in the same cycle as Aether Gust. And here's a little bit of maybe a controversial opinion. In all of the standard cards that have been banned in the last year, in my opinion, Once Upon a Time is the only one that is obviously erroneous. I think the things that they missed on all of those other cards that have been banned in the last year, I think it's very easy and reasonable to have missed the things that make those cards offensive. That include Teferi. Yeah, I think Teferi, there's like 6 different changes you could make to Teferi Time Raveler to make it a pretty acceptable Magic card. They didn't make any of them, so obviously ultimately they missed, but I understand what they were going for at its core. Everything from like making him start on 3 loyalty, to making his down tick cost 4, to flipping his passive and his +1 text. Like, there's a lot of things you could do to that Teferi to be like, yeah, this card is fine. Making him 4 mana. Whereas like, what's it called? Once Upon a Time, in my opinion, if you just like look at that card on a fundamental level, what is it doing? It's really just not okay, and that type of effect has basically never been okay, and that card should have been obvious. Like as someone who doesn't give strong opinions of cards generally during spoilers, I believe my exact quote on Once Upon a Time was, whatever they're selling this card for, it's not enough. Because that card was very obviously messed up. The type of effect that it is just shouldn't exist. I think we're just glory banging the Midnight Reaper, right? The Lyra's not super great regardless because they just sack whatever she's blocking, so we don't really gain life with her. So I think I want to just nip their card advantage in the bud. I think Once Upon a Time would have been fine if its normal casting cost would have been like 5 mana instead. I don't know. Like, obviously it's less good if you make it a more expensive normal casting cost, but I also think like that type of effect is just offensive. That type of variance reducing shouldn't... So, like, good comparison. I think comparing Once Upon a Time to the spell lands is a great comparison. Because Once Upon a Time gave a very specific type of fixing to a single color. Whereas... whereas these spell lands are giving that resource variance reduction to everything. Yeah, I agree with that on Alert. Once Upon a Time feels like they were looking to fill a flavor role, and they didn't decide. They were like, oh, this card meets our flavor requirement. Ship it. Print it. Alright, so I think we Karn into a Abrade here. I'll downtick and make a token. And then, I think I'm upgrading Mayhem Devil here. Is the plan. So they can't kill my Glorybringer. Was there any obvious process by which invitational players were chosen? Well, there were only four discretionary invites given to the Invitational. I can't tell you who they were offhand because they didn't really promote it, I don't think. Most of the people playing in the Invitational were MPL rivals or people that won qualifiers on Arena. So even though it was called an Invitational, it largely wasn't invite-based. Because what is an organized play system that makes sense anyways, chat? Alright, so need to draw a Bedevil here to deal with Corvald. We're probably dead. This card just generates so much card advantage. No protection from dragons on our Baneslayer Angel knockoff. Nailed it. Hashtag sometimes lucky. I don't recall any sub-survey responses that were particularly... There were a few that were in, but I don't recall any that didn't make sense, though. I'm going to leave this back to block a Dreadhorde Butcher, should they draw that. I'm going to go ahead and bang the Oath Rider here. Hey, thanks for the 14 months, Eric. And as a heads up, by the way, for folks who are my regulars, I've decided that with doing variety stuff and the rate at which Magic formats kind of ebb and change, my sub-survey is something I'm going to be doing monthly now. So, if you're a regular Twitch sub and you want to give feedback on the content I make here on the channel, look for that around the start of every month moving forward. Camboni, thank you for the 20 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So that's definitely the best way to give me feedback, and if you like the magic stuff I'm doing, dislike magic stuff I'm doing, like Runeterra, dislike it, like the variety segments, dislike them. The sub survey overall, I put more weight into than individual viewer counts because viewer counts don't pay the bills, but the subs do. Have I beaten the original Portal? I have not. I've actually never played Portal 1 or 2. We're just playing Lyra to start here, huh? Okay. This card is so obnoxious. So, like, if I give up Lyra, I can Glory Bang the Priest, but then I just die to Woe Striders. But, like, if I give up the Glorybringer, the Priest stays on board. All my decisions suck. Yeah, we might be able to race them in the air here, is our potential saving grace. Or maybe we could draw, like, Bonecrusher Giant or Clarion. Cool, Master. Thank you for the 14 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Spartan, thanks for the 5 months. By the way, for folks who are my regulars that didn't see my tweet or aren't in the subs Discord, starting tomorrow, I'm going to be doing, well, I guess we technically started last week, but I'm going to be doing evening weekday streams every night from now on. So Monday through Friday, I'll not only be on in the mornings, but I'll also be on at night. So if you're someone that can't catch me during the day, be sure to check the schedule for those. Yeah, and this is the tough part. They're going to be able to loop the cat, so Lyra's not lethal next turn. We can sack Idle the Priest at least. We can't. Idle comes into play tap, so I can't activate it this turn. Yeah, Mind Stone comes into play untapped. Guardian Idol does not. That being said, we can sack Guardian Idol next turn, so maybe that gives us enough time with Lyra in the air to win the game. He says before his opponent companies into Mayhem Devil. Yeah, I'm done. I wanted to try this one because Angels are sweet and Glorybringer... Glorybringer has a thing, but... Yeah, maybe I've considered, like, if Magic's constructed formats stay bad, maybe when Cube is on, Cube is something I could consider adding into my regular Magic content. I really just don't like normal Magic Limited, because normal Magic Limited tends to just be really weak. Like, the gameplay doesn't keep me engaged, but I think if Historic stays no changes, and, you know, a month in Standard ends up bad, I could see Cube. I could see Cube being okay. As far as this goes, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of off Historic right now. Just the Sack decks, the Goblins decks, the Uro decks. You need to pick one of those 3, or you're really just not competitive in this format. Those things stand head and shoulders in terms of power level above everything else, and there aren't really great straightforward ways to attack all of them. And it's tough, and the ladder's relatively competitive. Most of the decks we play against are those. We had an okay match against someone playing a green-black brew with this deck, but yeah, it's a hard, the format's in a tough spot. I've not been a fan of where it's developed to. I'll be interested to see if Wizards changes anything come Monday, even if they don't. Standard's rotating on Thursday, so I mentioned my schedule for people that haven't seen it. I'm planning I guess it's kind of, I can zoom, right? Yay, zoom. I'm planning to take the next 2 days off of Magic stuff. I'm going to do Runeterra each of those days. We're going to do a bunch of different variety stuff. We're going to play some more Morrowind. We're going to play this sweet roguelite RPG called Dreamscape. We're going to play some more Baba. We're going to play some more Portal 2 today. Wednesday night, we're going to do a deck building stream. So people that are familiar, you know I have a deck queue, and we've got a bunch of things in here for Zendikar Standard, and some for Historic as well. I'm going to wait. I'm probably not going to build these Historic decks on Wednesday because I would like to give them as much time as possible to make changes to the format before we build any of these, but we'll definitely be building Zendikar Standard decks on Wednesday night. And then Thursday, we'll be doing a bunch of Standard, and Friday we'll be doing a bunch of Standard, and then Saturday is the Standard Hooglandia Open. All right, what are we doing? We're gonna play some Runeterra. Speaking of, let's shift gears to that one.